We are live. We're here. Took a little getting there, but we got there. My name is Joseph Zenner. This is Zach Nasr. Welcome, sir.
How do you do, y'all?
So, Zach, why don't you share with the crowd? We're still going to be building a crowd for a bit, but for those that watch this on replay, we're going to start off by telling you what we're going to tell you, and then we're going to tell you what we told you. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
I think so.
It helps people's minds organize themselves or something like that. So, yeah, and we might want to speak up. And by the way, while you do this, I'm going to go turn off the AC just to make sure it doesn't kick on. So Zach's going to give us a little brief intro on what we're going to get into today. I'm going to kick off the AC.
So we were asking what y'all wanted to learn about and see about in the Council of Emotional Alchemy and Molecular Sciences group, CEAMS group. So in essential oil product creation, essential oils are like nature's medicines, and a lot of people don't know how to use them. So we're going to show you how to use them.
Word. And hello, everyone that's joining. Got some old roommates on there, old workmates. Welcome, everyone. So, yeah, and in terms of essential oils, one thing I want to point out is, at least in my opinion, and I'll let Zach chime in on that, I believe that it's worse to use funky essential oils than no essential oils. And the reason is essential oils have like a key, and it's a very complex key, right? With DNA and the way things work, that the DNA, the essential oils are allowed into the cell membrane. So they're allowed inside the happenings of the cell. If they're carrying a herbicide, fungicide, something that you don't want in your cells, they're going to tag those things along and bring them into the cell. So we only play with the most pure oils that we can find. There's some decent companies out there. For those that don't like network marketing, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you shouldn't play with essential oils, because most of the non-network marketing essential oils are junk. doTERRA's a great company. Young Living's a great company. And Zach and I have chosen Ameo. We've both worked with previous companies. He was with Young Living. I was with Ameo. I was with doTERRA now. We have both selected Ameo, and if you're going to play with oils, just make sure they're quality. There are some small companies that do it right. In terms of big companies, those are the big three I know that do it right. I mean, Gritman you could put in there as a distant fourth, I would say. Do you have any others that you would give an honorable mention to?
Not off the top of my head. I mean, there's a few that are like
some
certified
small companies
organic
and whatnot.
that kind of thing, but
brother.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Ameo is the batch code on the bottom. You can check out and see the common things that are affecting essential oils. They show you the test results of. There's no salmonella in there. There's no staph in there. There's no mercury. There's no lead. There's no arsenic. Because a lot of times plants get, contaminated with these kinds of things. And if you concentrate, a lot of that into a single bottle and then drink it, it's other than the best news ever. So I like to know what's in my oil personally, and I can check each bottle and look at the results of the test validated by other labs.
Yeah. Cool. So this is what we're going to talk about today. These are the main ones we're going to hit on. So that's your hit list that we're going to be going through.
Sunscreen, Bug Spray, Liquid Air Conditioner for those hot Texas summers. 3 Wise Men is a really great calming blend. General household cleaners, some good spritzes and sprays. Hair salves, Hair Me Now. And then a seasonal balm, which is to help those sniffles and itchy eyes and things that we get at certain times of the year.
Seasonal concerns. Uh-oh, Zach, our boss is on.
Oh, yeah. Smarty pants.
Carrie, we both worked for Carrie at Deer Lake Lodge, him more than I do. I haven't worked there in ages, but I still officially work there. At least I think. I don't know. She might have fired me in the I don't keep track of all my jobs. Okay, so let's talk first, Zachary, about why can't I just go to my local store and get some sunscreen? What's up with the sunscreens, man?
Well, so most sunscreens at the store, they're going to have compounds like oxybenzone is a very common one, where the sunscreen agent itself is a carcinogen. often a hormone disruptor. So even if you don't get cancer, your hormones being out of whack is not fun thing to have. You know, you tend to feel lethargic, you tend to feel moody, and all these different things. And then on top of that, in a lot of these lotions, and particularly sunscreens, you have phthalates that are, you know, cancer-causing hormone disruptors, and even parabens. So you have things in there for just texture and preservatives that cause cancer, in addition to the sunscreens themselves that cause cancer.
Yeah,
so,
the sun's not even causing most of the trouble, it appears, in terms of people getting in all this trouble with sun. I mean, obviously, if you go out without anything, it's going to, you know, not be the greatest thing for your skin. But some of these sunscreens, especially the liquid skin ones, anything above like 30 SPF, it's just bad news, bad news. And I broke out some rosemary for us to tune up our brains for class. Rosemary is great for the brain, so we're going to dial in on y'all right now.
Speeds up neuron firing.
Oh, who doesn't want that?
Epileptics.
True. Good point. That was a legitimate question, I guess.
It's about, yeah, that is a legit question.
And, you know, since I've been making sunscreens, I've had some successful tests. I've had some non-successful tests. But for the most part, I've been able to, hey, Daryl, we're having to create some sunscreens that I can apply once, go to a water park with my daughter all afternoon, and not have to reapply. And so, you know, what happens is the essential oils kind of set up camp, like right under the skin level, where you don't have to just keep putting it on over and over and over again. I mean, remember, these are oils, so they're not going to be soluble with water. So if they, you know, anyone that plays with decent essential oils knows when you put an essential oil on your hands, like the rosemary for my hands is already completely gone, right? My hands aren't greasy or oily. So the oils absorb into the skin really well. So you don't have to worry about, you know, is the water going to wash off my sunscreen as much with these? I mean, a little bit of that. Obviously, you know, water is going to be not as last as long as if you didn't have water, but overall, this blend that we're going to talk about today really can be waterproof to some degree.
Yeah, well, especially with a carrier oil. You know, if you use a carrier oil like shea butter, I mean, you know, you can see you rub shea butter or coconut oil on your skin, and you pour water on it, it just wicks right off of you. Yeah. Yeah, and since it's oil mixed with oil, they just kind of mesh together and go right into your skin without any of the toxicity that we talked about before.
Right. So let's talk about some bases for essential oil. I mean, for sunscreens. So before we get into the essential oils, because, you know, essential oils are going to be a percentage of what we're doing, but not a big percentage, probably less than 5% tops. That would be heavy. 5%.
That would be heavy, yeah. And that's one of the misconceptions with essential oils, that people are like, oh, it's $10 for this lemon oil, and I'm like, that's 3,000 pounds of lemon peel, and you're only going to use a little bit in there. You know, 5% of your total volume. Coconut oil is pretty cheap. I get gallons of coconut oil, big buckets coconut oil for like $20 at HEB. You know, or those are half-gallon buckets, but still, you can get gallon buckets for a great price.
So some of the heaviest hitters are red raspberry seed oil is up in the high 20s, I believe. Wheat germ oil is in the 20 range, and then you got carrot seed oil is up there as well, somewhere in the 20 range. I don't know exact numbers, but I mean it's going to vary from oil to oil anyway. And then you go drop all the way down to coconut, which is more like 8 to 10, depending on the coconut. And then you can do some other, like I believe almond oil has like 6 to 8, something like that.
Yeah. Almond oil also has some vitamin E in there, so it makes a great preservative for your product, because the extra antioxidants prevent the essential oils from oxidizing.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't like the smell of wheat germ oil or carrot seed oil that much, and I got a little story for you guys. I went over to my boy Zach's town in Austin, and I had a first date with this girl to go tubing, which is a really fun idea for a first date, right? And she's bragging about this new, you know, bikini she just got, and I'm like, oh, you know, great. I've got this brand new sunscreen that I just made. I was so happy to show off my sunscreen, and it was made with wheat germ oil, and not only did she detest the smell of it, but it stained her swimsuit. So I was like, fail, sunscreen fail. So I think it worked. She didn't get a sunburn that day, but But I don't think she got over being pissed at me from staining her bikini for the rest of the day, and definitely didn't have a second date. So don't put wheat germ in your sunscreen if you want to have a second date, I think is the moral to that story. I'm pretty sure that's the moral of that story. I'm not really clear. The immoral to that story. Coconut almond beeswax. What am I forgetting here, bro? Shea butter we could add on this list. I mean, it's more of a carrier than a blocker, but it's going to have some blocking.
Yeah.
As well.
And it's these moisturizing oils, you'd be surprised how just not letting your skin dry out, how much that prevents sun damage, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, you don't have to do all of these. Red raspberry, like we said, is our favorite, you know, and you can do a little coconut and beeswax, you know, but there's a bunch of different ways that you can make this. You can make it as complex or simple as you want, but those three are kind of really great for like texture, effectiveness. They smell great. Feel great. You could eat this stuff, but it doesn't taste very good, so I don't recommend it. It's that safe though.
Yeah, and there's one ingredient that I add to some of my sunscreens where I don't know if I would eat it. Well, maybe you could tell me if I should eat it. I've actually meant to ask you that, but like I know it depends on the type, but zinc oxide, that's a non-eat, right?
It's actually so here's the weird thing about it. There's a lot of companies that sell supplements with zinc as zinc oxide.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I got mine from Lisa Piper. It's as clean as it comes.
Yeah, if it's food,
so if it's clean as it comes.
Yeah, if it's food grade,
Lisa Piper.
You can do it. The other thing to bear in mind,
someone sees this, just drawing your class. Like, what kind of class is this?
Yeah. This is zinc oxide. This is, if you're going to buy store-bought sunscreen, zinc oxide is one of the least dangerous. Just look out for those artificial preservatives and that kind of thing in there. But you could eat zinc oxide. It's just going to change the rest of your mineral balance, like your copper, sodium, and potassium ratios. So I wouldn't eat it by the spoonful. But it's not going to kill you.
Heard. So yeah, I add a little bit of zinc oxide to mine generally, but in a lot of the sunscreens, it depends on what you want to make, right? Because a lot of the sunscreens I make end up being this. I mean, it's like, it's not what you would normally think of as sunscreen. It's very thick, obviously.
Hello, Deborah. She said, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, what up, Ellen? So it's very thick. I'm trying to think of this as a kid's class. Yeah. I'm going to assume children are watching, so I won't say what else this oil is good for, or this creation is good for.
It's very slippery.
Enough said.
It's very slippery. That's all I'm saying.
So now people are going to be asking about amounts. You know, like I've overdone. This is when you overdo it with beeswax, but I kind of like that. And because it's like this, you can put some oils in the top and then kind of mix it around, and then like it'll be stronger in those oils. The key when you're playing with beeswax and such and shea butter is when you melt them down to get them into solution, you want to get all your oils together and add those in at the last possible moment, not when it's still on the fire, not when it's still hot. If you do that, you're gonna add your oils and you're just gonna flash off most of your good stuff. So you want to wait, kind of like when you're making candles with oils, you want to wait till the last possible moment of it not being solid to add your essential oils, mix them in, and then let it get solid. That way you'll keep as much oil as possible.
Two questions. Does the new mix smell good? If you omit wheat germ and carrot seed oil, yes. So if you just do raspberry seed oil, your coconut, beeswax, it smells great. It smells mainly like beeswax.
Kind of beeswax.
Yeah, kind of like a honey and coconut kind of smell. The other thing, will it attract bees? Only I've noticed very floral smelling essential oils. The base will not. The floral smelling essential oils may attract bees.
She's talking about because of the beeswax, obviously.
Oh, because of the beeswax, no.
Yeah.
But what I have seen is sometimes I put like lavender flower oil or geranium flower oil in my hair, and that smell, the bees kind of like that smell because they go, ooh, you're like a big flower.
Yeah.
So be mindful of that.
And here's some good news about this sunscreen, you guys. You know, if you make this right, because we're about to get into the essential oils, and it just so happens that the essential oils that would be recommended to go into a sunscreen are also the oils that tend to be really amazing for the skin. I mean, I'm talking about really amazing. So what if you have like some minor eczema or major eczema, you know, psoriasis or something like some type of skin concern,
irritation,
and instead of damaging your skin further with a sunscreen, you could help it. You know, what if? And that's the realm we're playing in right now. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So when we go to add our essential oils, so now we're talking about, well, let's talk about amounts before we move on. So this is just some, don't trust me on this. Don't assume this is right. This is just from me playing with it. If I wanted it to be a little less solid than this, I would go a ½ cup of beeswax, 10 ounces of red raspberry seed oil. This is red raspberry seed oil. Nothing fancy to show you there. 2 cups of fractionated coconut oil, which is the liquid, and then I would go 1 cup of solid coconut oil just to keep it thick. You don't want it to be. You don't want your sunscreen to be all liquid, right? I don't, at least. I want it to be thick. 1 cup of shea butter for the same reason. ½ a cup of zinc oxide, and now we get into the essential oils. And I just put some numbers here so that for those that want numbers, they're here, but don't pay attention to these numbers. Blend according to your intuition more so than trusting these numbers. These numbers are a lot based on price too. I have 50 of lavender, 50 drops by the way, 50 of patchouli, and then 20 of helichrysum, myrrh, ylang-ylang, and frankincense. And frankincense is pretty much only there as a skin help. It's not so much a sunblock that I know of. But I would put it in there just to have it in there if you have some. I wouldn't buy it to make this blend.
Yeah, and you don't even need all of these oils. These are just all that are really great for the skin and great for sunburn. You know, if you only have lavender and patchouli, you could do those. Or let's say you don't like the smell of patchouli, so you go with myrrh or ylang-ylang. You know, these numbers are just kind of a general percentage so that, like, you know, you can see it's kind of a lot of sunscreen. You're going to get a general, like, 2 to 5% of the essential oils.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And to address Daryl's comment, I absolutely agree. You know, paraffin candles are bad news. There's no need to, there's too many good soy candles. And like Daryl said, you know, soy, you got to be careful because are people getting organic soy to make candles with? I don't know, and soy in general has been Monsanto'd. We've made that a verb, right? It's been Monsanto'd, so
it's been
soy, yeah. So yeah, beeswax is the best bet for candles, and we already talked about it. If you're going to make candles with beeswax, just you know, melt down your beeswax, add your oils last minute, and you want to soak your wick in the oils too, give you a little extra kick. And then before you fill up your jar. Put essential oils in the jar and do like this with it, so it gets it coats the outside of the jar. So as the hot wax hits the outside of the jar, boom, you get, so there's multiple ways you're getting you know, explosion of oils into the air like that.
Little blast. I like that.
But so that was a lot to be said about sunscreen, but it's a big one. So so we wanted to cover it. So if you have any questions, please throw them down about the sunscreen. Monsanto Toad, T-O-A-D. I like that. Skincare line I sell is all natural. Yeah, ours too. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, we do. We have the company we work with called Zija has a skincare line called Gene, which is based on the moringa oil, which moringa is a miracle plant. We do entire classes on that plant. This is not that class, but moringa oil is amazing for the skin, and I'm all about making natural products, you know, and you know, sharing the right ingredients and the right products for skincare, because gosh, have they gotten that one wrong.
Yep, indeed.
Okay, so I don't see any other questions about sunscreen, so we're going to move into bug spray. So let's start, before we talk about the good bug spray, let's talk about why we don't want to use deep woods off. Can I say, I can say names.
I think so, yeah.
Why we don't want to use deep woods off. More than likely, off is not going to sponsor this show. I'll live with that.
Yeah.
Okay with that.
DEET. D-E-E-T, also called DEET.
I spell it D-E-E-T.
Yeah.
And it is called DEET.
It is effective at keeping away bugs, and it is also effective at having carcinogenic and mutagenic properties. I believe it also has an ecotoxicity factor. I believe it also has toxic effects for the environment, but it's definitely been proven to be a carcinogen in humans. And since you're spraying it on your skin or on your clothes, you're either A, breathing it, or B, it's getting into your skin. And a lot of that gets into your bloodstream. And when it gets into your bloodstream through the skin, same thing with the sunscreen, it's bypassing the liver and getting into your bloodstream. You know, these things that we call xenobiotics. You know, they're toxins not naturally found in any life form, and they get into our bloodstream and have a very poisonous, carcinogenic, deleterious effect. And maybe one of these compounds wouldn't kill you, but think about even just a camping trip. You know, you put on your sunscreen with your phthalates and your parabens, and then you put your bug spray on with your DEET, and like, you know, we don't know how these things are going to react all together and what the synergistic toxic effects of those things are. Off is definitely toxic, Deborah. Yes.
What up, Jake? Jake's a fellow model out of Australia.
Nice.
Yeah. Y'all see, just for Jake and others, this is the mullet coming in for y'all. Got a little young mullet coming in. It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there.
It's a little baby mullet.
Baby mullet? Who doesn't like a baby mullet?
It's cute that way. It's less intimidating.
So let's talk about some other things we don't necessarily want in our bug spray or our sunscreen for that matter, and it's essential oils that are photosensitive. Now, if you're using the bug spray at night, obviously you wouldn't use sunscreen at night. If you're using the bug spray at night, these are okay because photosensitive means they react in the sun. So if I put orange or bergamot or tangerine or lime or lemon, pretty much any citrus on my skin during the day, there is a chance that my skin will turn weird colors.
You may get a rash.
I don't like that. Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. I get a slight rash. So also, lemongrass is not a citrus. It just smells like one.
Yeah. So yeah, so most of the citrus, you could look up essential oils photosensitive to learn more about that. But so for the most part, I'm not going to play with a nighttime and a daytime bug spray. So I'm making, you know, all-purpose bug spray. I'm leaving those things out. However, it's unfortunate because, and maybe if I was going deep woods and mostly at night, I would make a second one because the citrus are really great. Like they're great for bug repellents.
They are. So it's also on plants. You can spray citrus oils around plants, around your garden as a natural kind of pesticide because they're usually insecticidal. At the very least, they're insect repellents. Yeah. But yeah, on your skin, sun and citrus, sensitive.
Yeah. And dilute them when you use them on your plants, though. You don't want to use them straight necessarily. I would dilute them with water or something like that. You don't want it to be pure. Okay, so let's start talking about some. The heaviest hitters I would use in my bug spray would be lavender and lemongrass. Those would be the biggest ones.
The good thing about lemongrass, too, is even very high-quality lemongrass, this is like $10, $11 a bottle.
Yeah.
You know, it is not. It's really affordable. You know, also...
And lemongrass is also great for pain relief. If you don't have your muscle rub or your muscle min blend, those are the names of ours. You know, there's other blends for anti-inflammatory, but my first choice would be wintergreen. My second choice would be lemongrass. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
You're doing single oils?
Yeah, and it's also a great antifungal. If you have athlete's foot or some other foot fungal concern, it's great for that. Yeah.
Shoulder myself up right now.
Yeah.
A little shoulder pain.
So lemongrass is a super affordable one. We also have, I like to do clove. Some people don't like the smell of clove, but eucalyptus as well. Those are like 10 or 15 bucks each. Also really cheap, very affordable. I mean, you know, because there's 250 drops approximately in one of these bottles, and we're talking about putting 10 to 20 of each in like a pint spray bottle. You know, like so yeah, like that, like a pint spray bottle.
So total drops in a bottle like this.
I would put between 20 to 60.
I was going to say 50, yeah.
Yeah, depending on how strong
50
you want it
is strong.
to be.
I mean, 50 is on the strong end.
It will smell strong, you know. And if you make it that strong, you don't have to use as much, you know.
So what's the rest, right? Like, so if there's only 20 to 60 drops in that bottle, what's the rest? So you could use water, not the absolute best choice. The best choices would be witch hazel. You know, I use old T.N. Dickinson's witch hazel. It's the best witch hazel around. No, I don't know. It's just the one I got.
That stuff's affordable too, man.
It's cheap. It's cheap. And in vodka, buy your cheap vodka, and that's going to have some value to it. And if you're camping and you run out of vodka, then there you go. And if you put out most of these oils, every one of these oils I've written down is consumable. So yeah, you can just drink your bug spray and get a good, nice little buzz. And the oils could go into your cells and would keep the bugs away from it. So we should have just made some cocktails. We should have had a cocktail recipe. I guess it's not too late. Here's your cocktail recipe.
Yeah.
Boom. Put this in a cocktail with some vodka, and the bugs will probably go far, far away.
And this is one too where you don't have to use all of them. You know, cypress, cedarwood, rosemary, eucalyptus, peppermint, spearmint, clove. If you didn't see all those, but yeah, you know, if you don't have one, don't worry about it. The bugs are not going to miss it. Most bugs breathe through their skin, and so they're way more sensitive to these oils than we are. So really, you got 2 or 3 different oils with 5 or 6 different constituents in there. You're going to keep away pretty much all the bugs, and not just mosquitoes, fleas, bed bugs, scabies. A lot of these things, they hate these oils.
Lyme ticks. I mean,
yeah,
it's a big deal. I think the one downside that I've found from the bug sprays with essential oils is the opposite of the sunscreen. I think with making our own sunscreen, we can actually apply less. In my experience, I've had to apply bug spray more. Yeah. Just because you got evaporation factor. I mean, it's just it is what it is. I would apply like every hour if you're in serious bugs. If you're not, then it's not as big a deal. Yeah. If you have a lot of people sprayed with this, it's going to keep them away from the group.
Yeah, I say every 3 to 4 hours if you use like witch hazel or alcohol to kind of keep the smell around. But like unless you're in serious like Swampville where it's just insane mosquitoes, desperate mosquitoes. But yeah, the other thing is apply it liberally. You can spray it on your shirt, on your skin, on your pants, and because it's evaporating, it's just kind of creating a cloud around you. So also if you have a group of people standing around with clouds of this stuff around, they're just like, stay away.
And if you're at your house, by the way, look up plants to plant in your backyard. That rosemary's a great one. I know basil's a good one. Eucalyptus, lemongrass, lavender. I mean, all these guys, plant them all in your backyard.
Yeah, and rosemary and lavender grow well here.
So for those that don't play with oils a lot, this bottle costs $1.25. The 50 drops of oil. We had some, none of these are expensive. I mean, none of these. No. So we're talking maybe $4 or $5, and this will last you a long time.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a spray bottle, it's just spritzing all over you. It lasts a long time. I've had a single bottle last me like a whole summer. I mean, for just me, if you got a whole family, you're spritzing down every single day. You might go through it a little faster. But I mean, for me, I make one batch and then let it sit and forget it. It's not something you have to do all the time.
Yeah. Indeed. So anything else you want to say about the bugs? So the night before I go camping, I may douse myself in these, put some on my hands and feet and ears. Those are the places we put oils for reflexology points. I may put some in veggie capsules and consume them just to get my skin and cells breathing these oils, they're kind of oozing out of you. And then I might take some veggie capsules on the camping trip with me and consume some there as well. Every little bit's going to help. DEET is a very, very powerful chemical, and we're using very, very powerful plants, but we have to apply them very intelligently to get the same results as DEET. And it is possible. It is possible. Oh, we've absolutely done this.
I mean,
proved it. Yeah. Proved that we can do it.
And even
in heavy bug. We're in Texas, y'all, for those that don't know.
Heavy bug country. I mean, like 1 drop of peppermint oil is like 28 cups of peppermint tea. It takes 150 pounds of lavender to make 1 pound of lavender oil. So it's not like making an herbal tea. Like, these are super concentrated plant essences. And so for bugs, it's like, woo! Like, that's stronger than anything they see in nature. It really does work. I used to sell this stuff at farmers markets. I used to sell essential oil bug spray, and people would come back over and over again. It works, it works, it works. It's the only thing that works. Lemongrass smells good. So what's next on the agenda?
Next, we tackle liquid AC. So liquid AC is a really fun blend that we've created. I'm sure other people use similar to this to give skin cooling. But so what I would add to liquid AC would be peppermint, spearmint, and eucalyptus, or any combination of the three. If you only have 2 of the 3, if you only have 1 of the 3, you can still do this. It doesn't matter.
And rosemary also works as well. Yeah, I mean, because there's 2 main things. It's eucalyptol and menthol. And so a lot of the minty ones and a lot of the Vicks Vapo Rub kind of smelling ones have that kind of smell. You know, menthol is what gives us minty flavor, and also you get minty tingles. Wintergreen also works, which wintergreen is basically has a lot of the active ingredient in Bengay, methyl salicylate. And then eucalyptol is like the cold version of capsaicin. So if you've ever seen spicy peppers actually make your body think it's on fire, that's why we sweat, eucalyptol, which is in rosemary, peppermint, all of these things, they do the opposite. They tell your body, hey, you're cold. And that's why when we rub them on our skin, it actually feels like you have an ice pack on. So like, you know, you do a little, you could do just water if you wanted to and shake it up. You could put a little vodka or vinegar or witch hazel in there as just kind of a skin penetration enhancer. But man, you notice it when you spray it on shirtless and the wind hits you. It's like, woo, oh, I feel cold all over. Oh, man. And it's nice when it's boiling hot outside because your body actually thinks like, oh, this breeze is freezing cold. Oh,
you pop me a little peppermint there?
Oh, yeah.
So the other way to utilize this knowledge is to get an ice chest, a small ice chest with water and ice. You need the water, not just ice. And throw some towels in there, some little in-between towels. What are they called? I'm not a fancy person in general. They're not this size. They're not the big size.
Like hand towels?
Hand towels.
Washcloths? And bigger than a washcloth.
Bigger than a washcloth and smaller than a towel. I don't know all these terms. But
hand towels.
Hand towels.
A duvet.
Is it a duvet? I don't know what a duvet is.
A duvet is a comforter.
So, is it what?
It's a comforter.
Put a whole duvet on you. So yeah, you just put them in the water. Puts about 5 drops of peppermint in the ice chest. That's all you need. And just wrap that towel around your neck. You know, if you have kids that are playing sports out in the southern heat, man, it is a lifesaver. I mean, you put this towel, you wrap this towel around you, and it's just instantly you feel your body cooling. I mean, it can just drop the feeling, your core, just so much. It's amazing.
I mean, the same way when you eat a habanero and you're sweating, your ears are popping, you feel like, oh God, I feel like I'm on fire. It's the same kind of thing, but backwards. You know, like you literally, your body feels like it's cold, and it just really cools you down, reduces inflammation as well. Yeah, so I put some wintergreen and some eucalyptus as well, and a little bit of peppermint.
Yeah, and one thing you want to be careful with is if you're already hot and sweating, if you use the oils directly onto your skin, it's going to burn. Your pores are open already, so it's going to burn you.
It's like icy hot, you know?
Yeah.
Like that icy, like,
your pores are like wide open.
That kind of feeling. Man,
so, and if you noticed, I sprayed it on my face. I test all the spritzers I use on my face because if it does irritate my eyes, then I know I went a little heavy on the oils because it really shouldn't. I mean, obviously peppermint and wintergreen and spearmint and things like that, if you get too close to your eyes, bad news. But if it's diluted this much, I mean, we've got maybe 20 drops in this whole bottle.
Nice. I know, right? That's so good.
Did you put any rosemary in there too?
No, I did.
Some rosemary.
I have some rosemary. I got some right here. He just put the spearmint. That's the first time I've had this.
The liquid AC with spearmint. We didn't have spearmint before. It's a new oil for us to play with. It's like Christmas. So yeah, feel free to ask questions. By the way, we are keeping an eye on the comments. And if you want to share this, we still got another half of the class to go. We're going to get into 3 Wiseman, general cleansers, spritzers, and sprays. We're kind of covering that one now. Hear me now. And seasonal bomb. Okay, anything else you want to say about liquid AC?
I'm good on that.
I like it. Oh, I'll mention one thing. I make a blend that's drinkable called Evergreen, which is delicious. And it's got rosemary, balsam fir, spruce. It doesn't have spearmint. Rosemary, balsam fir, spruce, cypress, and cedarwood. And I think one of those is not consumable. So let me say, for the record, technically, I don't drink that, but I do.
And
But
also,
for the record, I do not.
for the record, also, wintergreen is not drinkable.
Yeah, you don't want to drink that one.
Wintergreen has one of these child safety lids on it, and the reason for that is because 1 teaspoon of wintergreen is like 80 baby aspirins. So it will thin your blood, and you will bleed out if you drink it. That's why it has the childproof lid. The good thing about it is that it's aspirin that will soak into your skin right where the pain is. So in that sense, it's fantastic. A lot of people think essential oils don't work or that they're woo-woo. They're actually very potent medicines because they're extremely concentrated plant essences.
Yeah, most people that don't think essential oils work have not played with them very much at all.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't believe me all the time at work when they're like, oh, you know, I know you help someone else with their headache, but I have a really bad headache. It's not going to work. I'm like, well, let's try it. It doesn't hurt to try it. I mean, 9 out of 10 times the headache's gone in 5 seconds, and that's peppermint oil, just straight peppermint.
Neck and
Temples, brainstem,
breathe it.
headache's gone.
Headache's
On the
gone.
tongue.
Go full 9 yards.
Strong. Okay, so we are getting into Three Wise Men. That's a super fun blend. For those that didn't see the picture of the Three Wise Men, it's a very cool picture. It's the one I used for this class. So you can go, I think I linked to the class. If you don't see the link to the class on this Facebook Live, which I don't think you will actually now I think about it, you can go to my previous post, 2 posts down, and see the link to the class, and you can check out what the Three Wise Men looks like. The Three Wise Men is obviously frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Daryl, if you're still on, Daryl and I did a webinar on this exact blend many moons ago, and we both wore fun hats and had a good time with that. Do you remember that? No?
This is some alchemy right here. I was amazed at this.
So watch where I take this, though. So there's a sect of Jews called the Essenes, right? Well, John the Baptist was an Essene, so obviously there were some Essenes in Jesus' family and whatnot. Because he was the first cousin, right? So the Essenes were very, very strict, and they were very calculated, and they were very intelligent, and they were alchemists a lot of times, and they were called wise men by many. So what do chemists play with, right? Like, do chemists play with solid gold or a chunk of frankincense, or do they play with liquids? So let's play what if, not arguing the Bible here, but the Bible actually doesn't say they were solids. So that's speculation to even say that these three wise men brought solids. So let's say that these were actually liquids. Well, you got frankincense activates the immune system, myrrh inoculates, and gold activates brain synapse. That sounds totally logical things to bring to a baby to help the baby's health and, you know, get the baby right on the right path for, you know, being in a barn.
Yeah, and so
staying healthy.
Something about this too, John Marco Allegro, who studied biblical languages at Oxford and Cambridge, he actually studied the Dead Sea Scrolls and translated them and said that he wrote the book Physician, Heal Thyself about this, and that the Essenes were actually medicine men, kind of shamans and healers of that time. They were the wise men of the community who made the medicines. You know, and even in the Bible, there's all kinds of things of using oil infusions. And the Christos, like Christ, means anointed one, the one anointed with oils. So it doesn't seem that far off, you know, according to scholars and what we know.
Yeah, the Essenes, a lot of them were, well, what's it called when you abstain from sex? I can't even think of the word.
Abstinence, yeah.
So they practiced abstinence. So when you do that, you have a lot of time on your hands, right?
Yeah.
a lot of extra energy, a lot of extra money on your hands. That sounded like I spend money on that. I spend money.
But he spends money on dates with women. Never mind. Moving on.
Off with off. Are we getting the comments late?
I don't know, but
oh wow,
off indeed.
We just missed a bunch of comments. I thought we were up to date. Sorry, y'all. Oh, cute guys. Thanks for the comments. God dog, we had a bunch of comments. We were stuck on that one comment. We thought no one was commenting. Still here. Cool. Welcome everyone. There's so many people watching. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad y'all are here, and we're gonna try to get it so that so that we can see the current comments, because it was stuck and we just thought nobody was commenting. So let me see if there's anything we missed. You take the reins for a moment there, Zachary.
Yeah, so man, I remember when you showed me this Three Wise Men blend. You took the frankincense oil and myrrh oil in a carrier with gold leaf, and it changed. It changed from a kind of yellowish color into this rosy pink kind of color, and that's why I was like, whoa, this is alchemy, because some kind of chemical reaction is happening here that we don't fully understand. And yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on, but there's something magical occurring with this Three Wise Men blend.
Yeah. And I see your test, Ashley. Thank you for helping us test. There was a lot of great comments that I recommend everyone scroll back and see. I didn't see any direct questions, but there were some great comments about peppermint being great for bugs and some different things that you guys mentioned. I appreciate the comments. Those are all valid. So here's the deal with the Three Wise Men, though, and you can see it in the picture. So we did, me and Claudia Autry were the alchemists behind this, by the way, and we decided to do a liquid of each and a solid of each. So we got some frankincense and myrrh resin, and we got some gold foil. Those that play with bakery and or baked goods and cakes and such that will know gold foil. You can buy a sheet of gold about this big for $4, and it's real gold and it's really edible. It's just so thin. Like if you touch it with your finger, the whole thing will go and it'll suck onto your finger. And then, like you have to use tweezers, and it's really, really hard to jack with.
It's also called gold leaf. But yeah, because it's so malleable and thin, it's not pricey at all because it's just so little gold.
So what happens though is the oil obviously floats on top of the water. So the frankincense and myrrh oil are on top, and then the gold, colloidal gold water phase is on the bottom. And so the frankincense and the myrrh sink to the bottom and live in the gold water phase, and the gold floats in the top in the frankincense and myrrh oil phase. So they like flip. So it's really an interesting blend to make. I'd love to make some more one day. Maybe we'll make some for Christmas this year. We skipped last year.
So some other things too about frankincense oil and myrrh oil. They have a lot of sesquiterpenes in there, which are a certain type of antioxidant that not only cross the blood-brain barrier, they're antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier and actually relax our brain and the limbic system, the instinctual part of our brain. Which is one reason why they probably use it for meditation for thousands of years. They felt that. Another thing that sesquiterpenes have been shown to do is when they lock into the cell membrane, it changes the expression of DNA, especially ravenous cells that are going crazy in the body and replicating more than they should, creating spheres of rapid cells, if you know what I'm talking about. It's a C word. And it's a zodiac sign, and that's all I'll say about that. Very helpful with that.
I was going to a different C word there. Okay, got it. I was just watching a video about the sacredness of the other C word, too.
Not Capricorn, the other C word.
Yeah. My boy Cullen Smith, who lived in the Vale, was spitting some crazy knowledge about that one. But anyway, different class. I'm trying to make sure we're staying. See, I don't know how to stay.
Jesus juice.
There. Jesus juice, indeed. Like one guy, I was attending an essential oils class one time, and he said, "How did he say that? I don't know. I don't know who's endorsing your products, but Jesus is endorsing mine with the frankincense." So we're gonna move on to general cleanser. I put cleaner. General cleaner.
It's a general cleaner. Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways you can make this as well, because there's a lot of antimicrobial oils, and so. Just like in general, most household cleaners are full of toxins, full of carcinogens, full of hormone disruptors. And when you spray them, not only are they getting on the counters where you prepare your food, they're evaporating into the air. They're getting into your skin. About 60% of what you put on your skin is in your bloodstream in like 23 seconds. And it skips the liver. So we're like washing stuff with bleach and our hands, and it's just getting right into the bloodstream. Super simple and cheap one is using a little vinegar and water in a spray bottle like this, or one of the big pint spray bottles. Lemon and eucalyptus. Super cheap, super antimicrobial. If you want to make a bathroom cleaner, you could add some oregano or thyme in there. There's also a blend called Pure V that I love because it already has the thyme in it and citrus oils, and it smells great with vinegar. You think like, ooh, white distilled vinegar smells weird. When you put citrus oils with it, like lemon, you get the lemon peel and then the sourness of the vinegar, and it's like, ooh, this smells
salad
like
dressing.
Yeah,
like
a salad dressing. So yeah, those are some ideas for just general cleansers. You could also use vodka too, but it's more expensive. It's not really necessary. You can get a gallon of vinegar for like $2. So that's all we'll go with that because we got some other things to cover.
Yeah, and I'll just say briefly, we have an oil called Pro Shield, which is our version of thieves oil. You could add that to water, and that becomes a cleanser as well. You could add that to vinegar. Lots of stuff you can do with that. Mm-hmm. So I want to back up just a little bit to Three Wise Men to address Ashley's question. What is the carrier? When we did it, we put a little bit of coconut oil just to stretch the frankincense and myrrh a little bit, but it was pretty strong. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of carrier in that regard. And then the water phase with the gold was just 30 parts per million colloidal gold. For those in Houston, I found it at a movable feast. I don't know where else you can get colloidal gold around here, but I know you can get it online. Like Matt Monarch sells it, I think. And you can get. I mean, shoot, for this purpose, you could use Ormus, right? And I would.
Yeah.
I mean, Ormus has got a lot of colloidal gold. You can get Kevin Hay. Kevin Hay's my boy. He sells Ormus. It has a lot of colloidal gold in it. There's some other valuable stuff about Ormus that would be good to have in there.
And the Three Wise Men blend in the picture, it's just a little half-ounce roller bottle. So a little goes a long way.
Oh, I have a roller bottle. Yeah, I mean, this is 10 milliliters essentially. That's what we made.
Oh, you did 10 mil.
Yeah, that's what we were making most of them. Right?
Oh yeah. It's like 0.5 fluid ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spritzers and sprays, I feel like we covered. So you can use these little bottles. You use about 20 to 60 drops of oils per. What is this? A 4-ounce bottle, maybe?
That's 2 ounce.
2 ounce. So this one's probably 4 ounce. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because we talked about the liquid AC, bug spray, general cleaners, which that's a lot of different spritzers and sprays. Something great about the liquid AC as well is a lot of those things like peppermint, eucalyptus, and rosemary are very good deodorizers. So guys, if you have stinky shoes, that with either some vinegar or vodka, spray it in your shoes. Maybe you go with vodka. But those...
Yeah, I wouldn't put vinegar in the shoes. Huh?
Yeah.
Or would it be better with the oils? Maybe it'd be better with the oil.
With the vodka and the oils, like half vodka, half water, and then those essential oils, not only does it deodorize your shoes, and it makes a great underarm deodorizer as well, but it's also a very antifungal combination of oils. So in your shoes as well, it not only gets rid of the odors, but it gets rid of the microbes and fungi that cause the odor as well.
Yeah, and since we're talking about antifungal sprays and such like that, like I feel like I just had a bad fungus that I just kicked, and it was brutal. I guess when you do this stuff for a living, like you get one that you really got to study and learn. And
the shaman sickness.
Holy cow, Zach was helping me a lot with it, and it was brutal, and I finally kicked it. But what I think it was, in hindsight, was black mold in my mattress, and I finally threw out my mattress, got a new mattress, and things started coming around. So what if we were going to make a mattress spray or a yoga mat spray? Same kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, so as far as the black mold goes, so I actually saw a doctor do this with thieves oil, which if you're with doTERRA, it's On Guard. If you're with Ameo, it's Pro Shield. I saw them do a mold panel, diffuse Pro Shield, On Guard, or Thieves for 2 days in the house, and then when they got the mold panel back, it was barely detectable parts per million. It's so antifungal, especially clove and lemongrass, which are in this blend. Very powerful antifungal, and if it's candida, very powerful at breaking down biofilms. So also then eucalyptus and peppermint actually destroy the planktonic forms or the candida that's outside of the biofilm. And so pretty much all of those oils except for peppermint are in Pro Shield. But yeah, I mean, you could use any of those, like clove and peppermint together, smell really good, and a biofilm breaker and the actual killer of the fungus itself. Or you could do lemongrass and eucalyptus. You know, either one of those would be great. Or you could just get a blend if you don't want to think about it, like ProShield.
I would, yeah. I mean, if you really want to be mean about it to the fungus in your black mold, I would go ProShield with oregano and tea tree, man. That would, what's gonna live through that?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's brutal. Now, the smell wise, it's gonna be strong.
Yeah,
it's gonna be strong. And thanks, Monica, for the comment. She's saying that she puts ProShield in the spray bottle, and during flu season, or her friend went around and sprayed around the office, and now her coworkers beg for it first sneeze. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
ProShield's the shit. I mean, it's so good at keeping you from getting sick and kicking the sick if it comes in.
Yeah, you can put a drop like on your jacket, and it just evaporates all around you. Or like you said, make a spray. You know, it's really powerfully protective. The story was there were thieves stealing things off dead bodies during the plague. And they infused these herbs into a vinegar called the Four Thieves vinegar or Marseille vinegar, and just the vapors of it in the air protected them from the Black Plague. The Black Plague was a serious disease. So it's not even like...
And they were gambling on it. They were so confident in their vinegar mixture, they were like, fuck it, let's steal some stuff, and I'm good. You think this is going to protect against the Black Plague? Let's find out.
Hopefully we won't die a horrible, painful death. Yeah, it worked.
And so to end that story, though, they caught them, right?
Yeah, they caught them, and they said, tell us what you did, and we'll give you a lighter sentence. And they said, we put lemon, eucalyptus, clove, cinnamon, orange peels, and we put rosemary. We put these in vinegar, and the vinegar sucked out the essential oils, and then they just put that on them, and it evaporated around them. So this is just the super concentrate of that. Instead of using vinegar to extract it, we just distill the pure concentrate of the oils.
Yeah. And then did you say to ours in ProShield they add lemongrass as well? Did you say that?
Yes, which is extra antifungal.
Indeed. Yeah. It's a good addition to that blend.
It's good to wear in a locket, yes. If you haven't seen those, they have little lockets that have little essential oil dropper pads that you can put a drop in, and it just evaporates slowly out of this little cotton pad. Yeah, Deer Lake Lodge, where we work, they sell some really cool ones, but you can find them online.
And I have these little, this is a wood thing that Haley Ross makes. It's a Spitfire.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just put it in the wood, and it'll slowly come out of the wood over time. Lots of things you can do. And like for my car, I made a very, very extremely fancy diffuser for my car. I took a tissue, and I folded it 4 times, and I just shoved it in my AC, and I just drop oils onto the tissue.
That's a good one.
It's expensive, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? I mean, it cost me a tissue, but I mean, sometimes you got to invest if you want, things to be nice.
Whole tissue, man. So we are going to start wrapping this up. We got a couple of things left to cover just to keep it under an hour. So what do you want to say about Hair Me Now and hair serums? And
stuff? I mean, there's been some success stories with hair for sure. The moringa plant has done some great things. There's a guy that you know of, right? That he grew his hair back, right?
Yeah, well, it's he wasn't trying to grow his hair back, but he stuck his hand out and he was like, my Parkinson's, I don't shake anymore. And he actually had to cut back on his Parkinson's medication because the moringa was so calming to stress. But I didn't say treat, cure, prevents any illness. Cut back on his Parkinson's. But when his doctor ran his blood work, he was like, I'd say you didn't have Parkinson's, but let's just be safe with it. But so he showed me as well, my hair started growing back. He had white hair. His hair started growing back black, which is crazy. Also, Heisha Wu, or Foti, which is in the Smart Mix, is called Black-Haired Mr. He because it helps with adrenal fatigue, and supposedly the guy grew his hair back black. Mr. He grew his hair back black. So
that's a crazy root to that plant too. The Hishu, you can look up Hishu, Hesou and WU, 3 words, and hit images on Google, and you're going to see these roots, and you may not believe it. And I don't know, I've searched scam, Hishu scam. I've never seen anything saying it's a scam, so I'm not saying it's true, but sure looks like it is. I mean, nobody's saying it ain't true, so pretty weird. Oh, and welcome Trey Dortch. We got an American Ninja Warrior on the webinar here. He runs a Beast Body Gym up in Cyprus. one of our big accounts. We love going over to those guys, checking them out. What is Monica saying over there?
Lava rocks and clay stones. You can also put your oils on lava rocks or clay stones.
Yeah, that's a great diffuser because they'll evaporate out slowly. There was something else that we had used. I don't know. I forget. And then Ashley says, I have one in a clay stone. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about which oils we would use. And again, spritzer bottles, same stories. Atlas cedarwood is our newest oil. That's amazing for that. Cypress, lavender, and helichrysum are the ones I got. What do you got?
For hair, yeah. So for any type of general hair, I like to use lavender or rosemary. When in doubt, lavender and rosemary are great because they both kind of are slightly antimicrobial, antifungal. They're not too drying, but they're also not too moisturizing. So also, if you have really dry, frizzy hair, things like helichrysum and patchouli and myrrh, some of those thicker oils, really help with the moisture. There's also like almond oil is what I like to use as a base in like a roller bottle. Like I use a anti-frizz serum that I put in my hair. Almond oil is a great base. Like coconut oil and olive oil, those oils are really heavy. So if your hair gets really frizzy, you could add a little bit of those. My ex a while back, she had very fine hair that would look very oily very quickly. The almond oil almost doesn't even show up. You roll a little on your hands, you can put it in your scalp and on your hair. Things like lemongrass, and tea tree are great to put on your scalp if you have oily scalp and oily hair because they actually dry it out. So it really depends on what you're going for. Eucalyptus and lemongrass also fantastic for dandruff because dandruff is a fungus. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, there's a lot of great oils that you can put on your scalp and improve your hair quality, improve the balance of oils. When in doubt, lavender and rosemary are great for pretty much anybody. You know, clearing out the microbes and balancing the oil production with the lavender.
And most importantly, grow your mullet faster. I mean, that's what most of the people watching are probably interested in. Grow your mullet faster if you pay attention to these tips. And welcome all the new people we got on. Chris says you've seen a testimonial where somebody got full regrowth in 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. And again, we're not claiming that we can do that, right? Is baldness even a diagnosis that we can say we can help or not? I don't know.
Maybe male.
For those that don't know, the FDA has diagnosed. If it's an FDA diagnosis, we can't say we can help it, cure it. I mean, we can't even. We're not even supposed to mention it. So
yeah. So the problem is they keep making up new diseases.
Right. So
they keep turning what was once.
And then they take our sites that turn diagnosed that you could look up the diagnosis and get the essential oils for that diagnosis, and they've killed all those websites online, so it's really hard to get good information on what essential oils are right for what diagnosis. So it's a sad state of affairs where we're living in terms of that until the FDA is shut down. But what I would recommend is getting a really good book on essential oils, because you're not going to find much online, unfortunately. Get a good book before they outlaw those and start burning them the way things are going. I mean, I'm serious, y'all. It's like, it's pathetic what's going on.
Well,
get serious for a second.
The way that the good thing is that a lot of these companies that make essential oils, they make a separate company that produces the books, because it's only illegal to say that it does those things if you're selling them, because now you're selling an unlicensed drug, whereas the other company is like, oh, hey, we're a different company. We just happen to reference all the blends in that company, but hey, we're a different company. But yeah, but the FDA could come down on that for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we are pretty much at the end of the class.
Yep.
And speaking of which, with the seasonal balm, one of my favorites, the seasonal balm, if you get seasonal sniffles
seasonal
or
concerns,
itchy eyes, those kinds of things that we can't say because, I don't know, it might be considered a disease, the trifecta of lavender essential oil, lemon essential oil, and peppermint essential oil. What I like to do is get cold water in a shot glass, and I'll put 2 drops of each, take the shot. Some people swig it down because they think it tastes bad. I think it tastes good. I swish it around in my mouth, and you feel it get into your sinuses, and your eyes stop watering, your nose gets clear. I used to get asthma-related allergies. Can I say that? I don't know. And whenever
you can say you used to get it. Oh wait, are you going to say you helped it?
For
God's sake, don't say you helped it, man.
And those oils.
You no longer have those.
Those oils are just really great. Those oils are.
You
really
happen
great.
to use some oils, and then just so happens you stopped getting the allergies.
It's probably not related.
I think that's the proper way to say that.
Probably not related.
No doubt a coincidence.
Yeah. But yeah, that one is fantastic, especially for this kind of year with everything blooming.
So yeah, I mean, so I would consume those 3 oils, 1 drop of each every half hour until my seasonal concerns went away. But I would also take some Soothing Air, which is our breathing treatment oil, and I would breathe that in regularly too, because that's going to help help open up the nasal cavity, the capillaries in the lung, just oxygenate all of this area, get you breathing better, and then these guys are going to go in from the inside out and do their work. It's a good combo to do it that way. And thanks, Abigail. This artwork is my roommate, Guy Brown. He does not have a website yet, but he will one day.
They're all over the place. They're really great.
They're everywhere here. There's some other artwork of Guy Brown for those that have.
It's very spirit world colors.
Yeah, he's got some sculptures of it. Oh, why not? I'll show. About half of these are his sculptures as well. Anyway, that's that.
Yeah, so definitely let us know if you have any questions or what you want to see on the next class, whether it's more technical stuff about oils or about product creation, because we got a gazillion of these. And, we want to teach people what they want to know. So please let us know. Share the replay. Watch the whole thing, Yeah, anything else?
Yeah, so for one, you can vote on what you want our next class to be. We do these Thursday nights at 8. You can vote in the CEAMS group. That's CEAMS. That's our online academy that Zach and I both teach for. This is it. This is as official as it gets, that we don't have like a building or anything. This is CEAMS. It's Council of Emotional Alchemy and Molecular Science. Please join our Facebook group and ask any questions in there if you wish. I pinned the post that is the poll that you can vote on the upcoming classes. There's things like toxic cleansing with essential oils, weight loss with the Miracle Plant Moringa, tons of classes in there, so lots of different stuff. And to answer your question, Monica, you can go to, you can search Dr. Scott Johnson Ameo. He is affiliated with Ameo, but he has some books that are outside of Ameo, so you can get away with it that way. And I think his website is like author Dr. Scott, or I don't remember, but you can find it by searching Dr. Scott Johnson Ameo, and he's got lots of really solid books.
Yeah, he wrote a book with Dr. Plant as well about how essential oils affect the human genome.
Yeah, and there's another good book that is called Modern Essentials, a contemporary guide to essential oils, I believe is the name of it.
Yeah.
That's the old book that some doTERRA reps had put together, and they had a website that was called EE Oils that was great, and it went away. But LCD is killing me. A crooked picture. No, it's actually, the picture is straight. The house is crooked, and Zach and I are both crooked, but the picture was straight. Now the whole house is crooked, and the picture is straight.
I had to turn the house.
Turn the house. Okay, so I think that's it. I don't see any burning questions. You can ask it right now as we're wrapping up. But yeah, find us on CEAMS, and you can ask questions in there. We didn't mention how to get started with these oils. There's lots of ways. The way we play is we get everyone wholesale pricing. We don't want people to pay retail for these oils. And so for wholesale pricing, it's $20, a whopping $20 wholesale membership to get into this club, essentially wholesale membership club. You can buy whatever oils you want once you do that. It's like $10 for lemon and lemongrass and things like that. Peppermint's going to be in the high teens. Then you got like eucalyptus and clove in the low 20s, and then you got things like frankincense up in the 70s, sandalwood up in the up in that area as well. So it just depends on what you're getting. It makes sense to buy blends because you're getting 7 oils in a $30 blend. So that's a good way. And we have a package. Our basic package is called our Basic 9, which comes with a diffuser.
And it's nine of the 5 milliliter bottles like this, so it's really affordable, and you get a lot of samples of a bunch of different little ones.
Show you the difference in sizes there. It's a 15 milliliter and a 5 milliliter. So in this Basic 9, you get the 5, and then there's an enhanced 9 where you get the 15s in it and such like that. But you get a free diffuser with it. It's $140, and that whopping $20 membership fee is waived.
Yeah.
So you just pay shipping on that.
And then you get 20% off of whatever else you want to order. Like you get a little sample bottle and you go, oh, I really like that lemon or that lavender really helped me go to sleep. I'm going to buy a big bottle, save some money. That's a great way to get started.
25% off, I believe, in the wholesale. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I think it's 20%. I don't know.
You get a good deal. And you get guys like me and Zach that can help you pick the right oils. You know, we do some free analysis with people to help them select which oils are right for them if they're ready to make a play and change their life and replace their medicine cabinet with oils. There's lots of videos we've done. There's lots of videos other people have done on, you know, replacing your medicine. In fact, that's one of the classes that we have coming up, replacing your medicine cabinet with essential oils. So that's a good one there.
Oh, yeah. It is a good deal.
Yeah.
Christopher
Super
James.
good deal. Oh, and then there's one other thing I want to mention. You can look up on YouTube, you can look up Ameo waterfall technique, and you can find these 8 oils that you can put on 2 on the hands and feet and 6 on the spine. There's a whole technique. It describes it. I think the kit is like $1.99 once you have wholesale. You get these 8 oils, and man, it just lights up your spine. I mean, it's better to me, for me, when I got it done, it was better than a full body massage. I just felt like my whole backbone felt like it was a worm. Yeah. Like I was like, whoa. I mean, it was just, it felt amazing when I had that technique done.
Especially if you do energy work or massage therapy already. I mean, this is a great thing to be like, hey, you want to add an extra $20, $30? I mean, because you're only using a couple of drops of each oil, you know, so that's like 20 or that's like at least 20 or 30 sessions you could do with these oils and be like, hey, you know, $20 extra. There's this waterfall technique to prime you.
Yeah. And you know, it's great for massage therapists. Me and my friend Claudia actually teach at the Texas School of Massage. We teach essential oils there. And, you know, massage therapists can benefit greatly because of what he just said. And for those that don't know, most people could not charge to do this because you can't charge someone to touch them unless you're certified. You have to be either a massage therapist, a nurse, or I can do it because I'm a minister. I don't explain that one. I'm a minister. So that means I can charge people to touch them. Yep. That's weird.
We are reverends.
But but hey, I don't have to not touch people and get charged at least. So at any rate, that's that. So look up waterfall technique Ameo. If you want to play with the miracle plant moringa, you want to you know, do some toxic cleansing, you want to lose some weight, you want to have more energy. We have 11 levels of energy with different products we can turn you on to. There really is the right fit for everyone. We have a whole product line based on plants that is about workouts and workout supplements, and it can compete with the synthetics. And this is the first that I'm aware of workout supplement line that can compete with a synthetic supplement line. It's incredible. And, you know, and if you haven't studied moringa, you can go to researchmoringa.com. Reach out to whoever shared this video with you. Ask them if they're getting wholesale. Maybe they can give you a referral link or whatnot. But find someone that's playing with Zija. Come join our team. We got lots of support. We do lots of online classes. We do free analysis, and we answer questions in the CEAMS group. So please join us, and please help us by sharing this class, and keep an eye out for future classes on Thursday nights. Thank you, Zach, for coming all the way from Austin, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
That was super cool. I really appreciate it.
It was fun.
And now we party in Houston. Woo! We're gonna drink every one of these oils and get wasted. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining. Peace and namaste.